Alright, so here we come up on UK 3. Germany 3, 9 infantry, 4 artillery, smart buys. He's playing Germany pretty smart, just marching them straight on through. So eventually I'm going to be facing a timing on Moscow. It's, it's inevitable. It's going to happen at some point. It's just how quickly can I defeat Japan in the meanwhile. The moment I start seeing tanks get built, that's when I start going, okay, this is what he's timing for. But for right now, we're going to try and make things as challenging as possible. So the good things with his placements is he's only got 3 fighters that can reach C-Zone 7. These 2 can't reach out there. I could bring my cruiser back to here and bring them down, but then all 5 fighters can reach and land. So we're not going to be able to do that yet. I do want to go ahead and get a transport down here so I can start picking at them at the edges and make Germany have to send some units back towards the west. My other strategy this round is going to be making Japan have to make decisions. I want to make J3 be a tough decision round for him. So we're going to see if we can make that happen. All right, so purchase. We're going to buy 3 infantry for India. I'm hoping to keep stretching them. Depending on his next buy, will help me decide if I'm going to need to build some navy in India eventually or not. Again. And I'm going to build a fighter to go up here in C-Zone 7. And a transport. Now I'm going to give him 50-50 odds up here. We'll see if he takes it. And a KGF, it's not a bad thing to do with Germany. But at the same time, I'd rather him use some of his units over here on boats and take out some of his fighters that would be attacking Moscow. The boats won't be protecting Moscow. So I'm going to say okay. I'll take that risk. I'm going to leave 3 in the bank just because I might have a big buy coming up here in the next couple turns, and I'm not really trying to be offensive on the land right now down in this area, so I'm just going to hang out. All right. So what I am going to do, because it is getting kind of tight, he did build the 4 transports, and he can bring 5 planes. If I don't win this, he could bring 2 bombers and battleships. So I got a lot of planes over here, so we're gonna go all out with our planes and just 1 infantry, and see if we can get a wipe in there. I am going to use 1 infantry to take Egypt with. Let's see here. I believe that's all my attacks this turn is going to be it. I might do the 2 infantry. Let's see. You know what? I'm just going to feel better if we do that. Yep, I think that's it. See any other attacks that I want to do? Again, I'm not completely opposed to using my fighters to take out the 1 infantry, but I'm probably going to use US on him, and if not, I'll make sure the Russians take care of him. But I'm not yet ready to risk the planes. All right, here we go. Glad I brought that extra fighter and bomber in there. Oh, glad I brought the extra infantry too. Ah, bummer. That's kind of cruddy dice. Oh well, that's life. Alright, so here's another thing I'm going to do. I'm going to have 2 completely unprotected transports from his air, and I'm just going to bait him. So this guy, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or his fighters here can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the bombers and the fighters can't go there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait a second, I thought I counted wrong. So he can hit with this fighter, go 1, 2, 3, but then the fighter's absolutely going to live, so he's going to have to bring his carrier into C-Zone 35. And we've got 2 fighters from up here, 3 here, we got a couple bombers, we've got a couple subs, we got a carrier. Bottom line is he's going to have to bring that whole fleet in to kill that transport, which is just going to let US run wild up here. Same thing down here, we got the transport sitting here. Bomber 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this fighter 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys 1, 2, 3. He has to bring his fleet into C-Zone 37. Now 2 of my fighters can't reach there, so he could leave potentially a battleship or a carrier back. But again, there's enough US over here that will overwhelm that if he does that. So if he wants to kill the loaded transport or the empty transport, he's going to have to move his fleet in to do it. So we'll see if he's willing to do that or not. And I really wish that would not be orange, because now he can try doing a stack here and really put some pressure next turn. I might as well bring him back. Oh, I want to bring the tank back too. I did want to do that. And I really don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it. I want to keep him for trying to dead zone Egypt, I think. Maybe a mistake. We'll see. Alright. Well, that's what we're going to do. And we'll call it a turn there. I'm just going to build my ships and we'll be going. Alright. So, lots of choices here. Now, honestly, I don't even know which route I want to take. I might change my mind as I'm in the middle of doing my turn, to be honest. So, it does look like he's planning on staying pretty strong here in C-Zone 61, where he's got his factory. I like to keep this at least C-Zone 60 dead zone, possibly 62, but I think I'm going to leave it on 60 dead zone and see what happens here. I'm leaning towards giving him lots of good targets for his Japan Navy, but he can't hit them all. So he's going to have to make a choice. Do I clean up the Russians? Do I attack the Americans? Do I attack UK? And we're going to see what he chooses. It's going to make this game go interesting. I probably shouldn't play around on a tournament game, but I'm going to because I want to. And we're just going to see what comes about. I didn't fully decide how exactly I'm going to do it yet. Alright, so I'm stalling long enough, but in any case, to go back to what Japan did. So Japan bought 2 submarines, he put them in C-Zone 61, he bought 8 infantry here. He did take his transport up here to take Burasha, which is fine. He did take Ivankai. I kind of wish I hadn't messed around with these Russians because they're kind of at this point. And then he did come in and take Kazakh. So, in any case, this is what we're looking at, and he blitzed through Novo here. Lots of decisions. What he did do is he did give himself a lot of income, which is a little bit worrisome because he's got, I believe, 40, if I remember right. Yeah, 40 income as Japan this turn. That's a little worrisome. That's a lot. That's a bit more than I'd like him to have. But in any case, we're going to see if we can start shutting some of that down. Some of the things to note One, he built 8 infantry. These 3 transports have no one along the coast to pick up, so I have no threat onto India this turn. So these guys get to roam free. And I'm going to try and see if we can make him pay for doing that choice. So the only place that he's obviously presumably planning on picking up guys off of here and then bringing them back to the mainland, whether up here or over here. That evidently appears to be where he's leaning towards, and then using this factory to build boats where he can. So we definitely want to take out the free transport, of course. So we'll kill the transport. The other note here is because these transports can't pick anybody up, I forgot, and this is throwing me off, I forgot to put my second man in here when I left Australia, which is frustrating. But I can come, pick one here, hit DEI with 2 men and 2 bombers. I pretty much guarantee that UK can take DEI. Or US is going to move to Sea Zone 29 this turn, and then next turn he'll have a tank infantry and a bomber that could hit DEI. So we could have, get that in US hands, which is more ideal than UK hands, but it gives him one more turn of collecting income, and he's already pretty big on his income. So I'm leaning towards I'm probably going to take that with DEI, and he can't take it back, and then I'll just figure it out from there. Because what I'm going to option him is either kill the US or kill the UK. If he kills the US, then I'm just going to go ahead and do a complete reverse KJF and let the UK take over the islands. It's not easy, and it's kind of silly and it's kind of challenging because they got to hold off the Sea Lion, which means US needs to start building up here. But we're going to see. We'll see if what choice he takes and when I get to that. That being said, so I'm going to leave one transport back here on Sea Zone 56. I'm not going to put both my Pacific transports out at risk, which means I need to have cover, air cover. So with 40 points, I'm just going to go ahead and just straight up buy 5 destroyers. Just want to make sure we kill him. He only gets one chance at me. I want to keep these Americans down in India. I was going to use the bomber infantry to clear this so it'd be an easy take for Russia, but instead I'm going to use them to clear Kaza instead. And that way they can return back to India. So the other thing that I looked at is, I could do the whole destroyer block bit. I could put a destroyer in Sea Zone 60, move everything here to 59, and they're all safe. But it's cutting corners close to get to my stack that I want, which I'm trying to maybe push it a turn up and get a US 4 stack, which maybe that's my risk I shouldn't be taking. We'll see if I change my mind by then, turn and just do the destroyer and bring the other transport up, or play it risky, put the whole thing up there, make him make a choice, and keep my transport back. I'll decide that in a little bit here. So frustrating when that one man hits in the Pacific. Ugh, you hit here too. Ugh. Those single infantries. Frustrating. Oh yeah, one of the other ideas I had played with was using my U.S. transport, sacking him to take Manchuria here, and then maybe even using my 2 fighters and my bomber to kill this guy so the Russians could walk into there. But, I mean, he would be able to pick up his 6 guys and all his planes and wipe them out pretty clearly. It would make him have to move. Well, he could sacrifice his transports. I just decided not to go that route. I still, I may change my mind on what I should have done, but oh well, such is life. Alright, I'm going to pause the video for just a minute. I'm going to just rethink here. Do I want to destroyer block and bring my transport up, or leave my transport back and let this be a risk? So if I don't destroyer block and I leave it open, what I am giving him is a 71% chance of wiping my entire navy out there, which is pretty risky, to say the least. Sea battles are very quirky, though, at the same time. Now, I'm going to give him a handful of UK targets, like a couple transports, maybe a carrier, that might look tempting to him. And if he even takes one submarine out of it, it goes down to basically a 50-50. So if he uses a bomber to clear one of those other ones, then, you know, this is going to be less than 50% chance. So if he uses in one unit to attack the UK, or I'm going to probably split my Americans 1 and 1 here, which he can kill the 1 with these guys and risk the artillery, but maybe he would want to use a fighter or a bomber to help clear that. Or I might just, I haven't decided, attack in there. I haven't really decided. I'm trying to be as annoying as I can with those guys. But if he uses one unit not to attack the US, it becomes a 50-50. And if he decides to clear the US, then that means India's free to build, because he's not going to have his boats will be out here. And so I'm going to put a transport in range of his factory. So if he goes and clears, then my transport will be able to take that guy. So we're going to see exactly how I do that when I get to the UK. I haven't really fully decided this all out. I think I'm going to go that route, though. We're going to live life on the edge. It's a KJF. You die by the craziness. Ooh, don't want to forget these guys. So here in Madagascar, I can still help threaten to dead zone this area with my bomber fighter and these guys, no matter what I end up doing here, if I keep one transport in range of Egypt. So alright, so I didn't stop the recording, I just kept on going, so let's just, yeah, I'm just going to do it. We're going to have fun. Maybe I get eliminated from the tournament early, and there's less videos to make. Alright, good old Russians here. I hadn't even really thought about this play too much, other than I know I need a clean arch. I'll probably take these for free. I may need to do a quick calculator here, so I'm going to go ahead. I am going to pause the video here. Alright, so yeah, I just did some quick number crunching just to see how things go. We're going to go 6 infantry, 2 artillery. Actually going to try to take out even just one infantry. So here in the Ukraine, my main concern here was simply that actually I think I'm even going to conserve my. We're going to be risky, and we're going to conserve my artillery. If I can just take out one, the main concern is 2 infantry and 5 fighters on 4 infantry, which I plan on building here, or less, is actually a profitable battle for them. So if I can knock this down to 1 infantry, or maybe even take it, then that would be beneficial to me. I kind of cutting in like nice edge here. Too many places cutting nice edges. Let's just be safer. And I'm gonna split these guys and just be as annoying as possible up here, so you can't blitz this tank through. Maybe one of them gets a hit. Maybe he has to use a fighter or something. So I think that's what we're gonna go with. Although it's tempting to take that battle, I don't think it's gonna get me much more in the long run. Critical battle here. Let's get that hit early. Be done with it. There we go. Always like to see that first round hit so I don't have to fret the infantry hitting twice in a row. Alright. And we just need 1 hit at least in Ukraine, and then... Oh shoot. I didn't take one of these guys from West Russia, did I? Very well. Let's see here. So he's attacking 13, 3, 9, 5. And we got 19, 3. Not 19, 3. Alright. Yep. I think we're going to be good here. We're going to be annoying there. We're going to take it. There we go. Alright, moving along to UK4. Germany's turn. Germany bought 12 infantry, 2 artillery, still marching. So he put them all the way back into Italy. So he's looking at, excuse me, G5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These guys that he put in here, they're going to go G5, 6, 7, 8. So G8's the earliest he's looking at. With these guys at least. The good, bad side, I guess, I don't know. He did do his arch move, which makes sense. He's going to make me have to step out of West Russia to protect Berlin. And G5, it looks like he's probably going to have enough to be able to stack into West Russia. We'll see what happens. It's kind of close, but I don't think I'm going to be able to stop him from stacking West Russia on G5, which I was really hoping we could wait till get him to G6, but G5 is kind of the natural timing of it. So hang in there, Russian boys, hang in there. So what this does leave is he moved into Egypt, which I wasn't counting on him doing that. So this gives me a chance to get rid of these guys for good now, but it limits what I was going to do with giving Japan some options. So I may have hung my U.S. fleet out to dry. We'll see. Again, he's going to have choices, so it's going to be interesting to see which choices he ends up taking. So, in any case, I'm looking at buying a pair of infantry, a sub and a destroyer, which I'm going to put in India as some targets for him, and a transport, which we're going to add up to here. His fighters are nowhere where they can touch him, so it's a free drop. So I'm going to take that. And we're going to go with it. Let's see what happens here. So this is why I wanted to leave my artillery here to give me enough pieces. I was thinking about taking DEI with these guys, but I was kind of on the fence for it. So now this just gives me a good clean kill. I don't need to worry about my fighters helping defend West Russia or India because he can't attack India at all. And we're abandoning West Russia, so we'll be able to stack Moscow reasonably well regardless. So we're okay here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Yeah, so what we are going to do, like I said, we did want to give him some targets, so try and cut into the Japan income. Notice he has no ground units that he can hit any of these guys with, but I am going to throw a transport sitting right here with access to ground units that could then go to Philly or Borneo or DEI, or up here if he attacks the US fleet, we can come up here, lots of options. So he's got to be mindful of those guys. I'm also going to have the destroyer sub as a target, and technically the transport sitting over here is still going to be a target. I haven't quite decided. I might even give him a rich carrier target. I'm going to throw some subs over here. So I'm going to give him all sorts of things to think about, and he's going to have to make some decisions on what he wants to go for. Let's see, up here I did want to go ahead and take. I'm going to do it this way. I might end up putting my fleet into C-Zone 6, which seems silly. Why put your transport up into C-Zone 3? But he can't touch C-Zone 3 anyways. He's only got 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's a freebie up there, and just in case this doesn't go like I want, I'll be able to still use. Yeah, well, actually, I'm probably just going to leave the C-Zone 6 alone. Now I think about it, because even if they both survive, I was going to have one fly out, but they can't reach out there, so we'll hang out where we're at. Could bring them in here. And let's see, did I get all the attacks in? I want to declare Egypt. I want to take away from Japan. I want to try and clean out the unit. And take a freebie over here. That's all we're going for this turn. Let's get 4 hits right off the bat. That would be nice. All right. Or 7 hits. And I'll let him have 2 hits. Alright. Let's get my hit. Let his guy miss. There we go. Nice. Much better than the last round. was attacking Japan, and he kept hitting back. Alright, so we definitely want to bring the bombers back to being in range of C-Zone 61. These guys, we're not going to put them on the carrier. We're going to leave them up here. I'm going to think on these two. I'm going to come back to that. I want to leave the possibility of coming down into here next turn with my fleet, just in case he's bring his 5 fighters down somewhere this way. I wouldn't expect it, but still. I want to be careful. I want to be able to have the fleet to come up here. Actually, there's no benefit to that. Because if I leave the fleet here, we can still get to Moscow, okay? And these guys. Actually, you know what? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. We're going to pause. I'm going to think. Okay, here we are in US 5. I'll go back to Japan. Sorry about that. So he bought a carrier, a battleship, and an artillery. Obviously, putting the carrier battleship in C-Zone 61. He did go ahead. Took out my carrier here using the sub and a couple of fighters, which was to be expected. The good move that he did do is he did a bomber and 3 fighters to kill my units that were sitting here in the Philippines, and looks like he got a clean kill too, which is a bummer for me. It'd been nice if one of those would have got a hit like his were getting hits on me, but you know, he also took Barasha without any losses. So again, pretty good rolls for him to not lose on the destroyer, not lose here, but it's working. So what he did do is, because of this disaster I had, the Solomons, I've got 2 empty transports, so I can't get Borneo. He also has his bomber here where 1, 2, 3, 4, if I'm sitting in this C-Zone 5, 6, he lands back on Borneo. But what I can do is I'm going to move the transport to India. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't land anywhere. So next turn I'll be able to pick up the tank and do a tank versus infantry and hope for the best. So, any case, I got a 90% chance to kill C-Zone 61. I'm going to leave his... Oh, well, shoot. It's going to stink for the transport, too. Anyways, I'm going to go out all out on 61. I don't want dice to be too big of a factor here. We're just going to go for it, and we're going to go for the complete kill on 61 there this turn. So since I'm going to go ahead and be confident that I'm going to kill these, I'm going ahead and building 2 complexes this turn in 1 turn. We're also going to go ahead and start getting a transport built back over here. We're going to send this transport back to get some in. And fighter, we're going to leave the carrier here, let the fighter land on 56 here. So, go. So I believe I need to get him down to 8 units for the UK to be able to wipe him out. So I might be able to do a retreat and save my battleship maybe, and we'll just kind of have to see how things are going as we go along in this battle. It's a big battle. I'm probably gonna take my time and make sure I don't completely goof it up. So let's see, I'm actually going to input this in my calculator so I know what I'm expecting to lose. And that way I can know how we're doing exactly. So let's see, we've got attacking, we got our 6 fighters, 1 bomber, 1 sub, I believe it's 4 destroyers. Yep, 4 destroyers, a cruiser, a couple of carriers, and a battleship. Going into it, defending, he's got his 6 fighters, 3 subs, 3 carriers, 3 battleships. Sure would have been nice if we could have hit one of those fighters. Alright, anyways. So, not expected to win this part of the battle. I'm expecting the 1-2 punch to be able to take him out. Maybe if I win this part of the battle, that's fantastic. Let's see here. According to the good old calculator, which I know it's on my other screen, so you're just going to have to trust me on this one. They're going to get 7 hits, and we're looking at getting, well, 7 hits too, but I'm hitting 3 battleships is the big difference there. So we're both right around 42 attack power. Defense power, his is slightly better. Alright, here we go. Come on, use that surprise strike for something good. 6 hits, one less than we wanted. And he got the 7 hits, so we're just gonna assume we're gonna have to go all in on this. Oh wait, whoa, hey. Oh, gotta start all over. Gotta remember to do that hit first. And he's got no subs left, so I might as well get rid of that guy and leave the sub and attack. Come on, get a hit. Use that surprise strike. Make it worth it. There we go. Now there's some good hits. Seven hits back. What am I looking at here? So that would give me a fighter, which could come back to the Philippines, leaves me a bomber alive, and my battleship. And I should have good odds on killing his battleship next turn. Or all 3 of his battleships, or do we just go through it right now? Meetsy, mindy, mo. You know, now I'm wishing, if I had been thinking, I would have done a 1-2 so that I could retreat into this sea zone. Do got my destroyers coming in. I'm thinking I like the retreat option since I got all his fighters. It'll give him 2 bombers and a sub, but I'm going to have them coming in. Actually, I'm going to have them come down here, split them. Maybe keep my guy alive. Yeah, I think we're going to retreat this one. He's got 1 carrier, 3. Let's go back here. And we've got the 6 subs. I want those. You know what, we're just going to finish this. Because I may want to send some UK fighters back. There to pick up the fighter, and that's all our units. So one thing I will say, I didn't make a comment, but when you're doing a KJF, you got to be mindful of the fact that Allies' attack power is going to shrink quickly, and it's going to look bad. So we're going to look at that in just a second here, but so make sure I didn't miss anything. 5 fighters versus 5 destroyers versus sub, and 2 bombers. I will take that. So if we look at the war report, it looks kind of bad. He's got a 31-point advantage here. So it looks bad, but it's actually about the positioning and whatnot in the early KJF. Allies are expected to be behind first and then start to come back. So I am perfectly good with that. Alright, we're going to try to get 2 more. Where are we sitting at? We are sitting at 25. Excuse me, 18 is what we got right now. I'm hoping to get 2 more IPCs, so that'd be 20, so I want to save 1. So we're just going to go head into our turtle zone. Turtle time. So we're going to do this. And if I can clear them and have a tank or 2 left, he's got no Japan units immediately, so we'll have to use air to try to hit them, and they could come back. So, and then we're going to bring everybody else back into Moscow. Three hits right out the door. Okay, 2 hits. All right. Oh, jeez. There we go. Thank you. Finished the battle. All right, and an infantry despair. Sweet. Those northern Japans are getting fatigued. They aren't hitting back like they did earlier. Just hit and get it over with. There we go. There we go. Japan's fatiguing out. Japan is shrinking quickly. I'm going to leave him exposed. Technically, he could fly his German fighters and pick him off if he wants to, but I'm just gonna be okay with that. All right. The Russian turn worked out quite well. The U.S. turn worked out well too. All right, UK 6. Let's see, Germany. Whoops, wrong button. Germany bought 7 tanks again, so sticking with their timing. You can see him streaming here. He's doing well with his purchases and planning for that G8. It's looking like to me like G8's going to be kind of a 50-50-ish. So I'm just going to do everything I can to secure it as best as I possibly can. It's going to be tight though when he brings in these 10 guys, these 7 tanks, 4 more artillery, and then some bombers that he builds. It's going to get tight. So we shall see how things go from here. Any case, so we had 39 IPC. So I'm choosing to build 3 fighters, which I'm going to put in India that can fly in time. If I put them in UK6, UK7, they can fly in just in time for G8. And then I am going to go ahead and rebuild my transport. So he did attack a transport cruiser and lost a fighter, which is a good thing for us in that regard. So it ended up paying out okay in that trade-off, I guess. Still wish I would have thought that through a little bit better and not had to sacrifice it and have to build another transport, because now I have no pressure on Karelia this turn, so he's able to do this little kind of cheap 4 fighters and 2 AAs. I could get my bombers up there and my 5 fighters and have 8 shots hitting it with a single infantry to absorb the first shot, but I just don't think it's worth it. All those fighters are going to be better off in defense. They're better defenders than his attackers. So our big goal to this time is take out the battleships. And because I went that extra round, I probably didn't have to go that extra round, but it lets me free up these fighters so that I can bring them back to India, because I did forget to leave a guy to block here, so he could blitz right on through here. I'm going to let him blitz a tank this way if he wants, because that's going to end up messing up his timing on Moscow, so we're going to go with it here. So let's see, we got 2 battleships and we got 6 subs and 2 bombers going after that 2 battleships. We should do all right there, so that's going to be the plan. Grabbing land where we can. And I think that's going to be it. Oh yeah, I forgot that's American there. Get some surprise shots in here. Right as expected. Bombers finished them. They missed. Good battle. Here we go. Alright. Japan. So what did Japan do this last turn? They bought 2 tanks, 1 fighter, and 2 infantry. The 2 tanks on the ground here. Fighter and infantry over in Tokyo. Ah, I didn't see. Ah, that's going to affect my builds. Ooh, okay, so he did bomb Moscow. That's going to change things a little bit as far as all my calculations were going. And that's a little bit of a stinker, but we're just going to have to roll with it, I guess. And let's see. Sinking, Kazakh, Far East, and Yunnan. Nothing really surprising in any of that, so just a bombing raid is going to put a kink into the plans a bit, because we were planning on building 7 infantry this turn. Not going to be able to build that many this time, so alright. Well, in any case, so over here on the US side, I'm looking at building 5 infantry hopefully to get on the islands. And 2 transports, that's my hope to build down here. I did build a destroyer just in case I don't take Borneo. I may have to do a little bit of an audible, but and then building a fighter. I'll be down in the West USA and catching up. We will not have that same problem as last time. I do want to go ahead and get rid of the sub. It's just going to be a bit of annoyance, so I wish we had air over here to do it, but we're just going to do that. Ooh, almost forgot. Come on, tank versus infantry. That's a big one. We could use a little luck there. So as you can see, the US really gets weakened, and now they've got to start working on building up from scratch. And so we need Russia to hold out as long as possible, and then Russia's got to be a nuisance to Germany as much as possible. Alright, here we go. This is the big one. Good. Whiff. Ah! Another turn without Borneo. The bigger deal is that it affects how his bombers can play, and how I gotta set my transports up inefficiently now in the Philippines and DEI. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So I can't just leave everything there. Drab dabbit. Guess we're just gonna have to be a little inefficient. How do we want to do this? 1, 2, 3. Alright, I'm gonna have to think about this here. So we want to. Alright, we're gonna pause. Alright. I think we're going to actually protect this transport. We're going to put a transport out here for a little bit of a bait, if you will. And I think the third transport just may have to come from West USA. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just going to have to be delayed. Not exactly what I was wanting here. So two infantry here, 2 infantry here. We have potentially 2 transports. So that'll cover them up. Might as well put the fighter on up ahead. Give the other infantry for him to pick up. Not precisely what I wanted. And this changes things just a little bit too. G7 should be okay. G8's gonna be the question mark. At this point, I'm not going to use any infantry on any units on Japan, just because I want to make this as close to being a battle as I can, and it looks like it's going to be very tight. So we are not going to attack anything else. Oh wait, take the freebie. In hindsight, probably could have done a couple units over here since it doesn't have any more land up here. But thank goodness he missed anyways. Turtle in. So that leaves us 17. Got 2 damage on there. So we're probably only going to get about 3 or 4 units added in. That's going to be a stinker. Alright.